Hello, welcome to our special edition of Equipment Issue with Reebok CCM. My name is Justin Johnson with Mega Goaltending, and today we have a special guest with us, Steve Ricks with Ricks Sports Marketing, representing two of probably the hottest brands out there in the last couple of years with the Reebok P4 and now the CCM Extreme Flex. Welcome, Steve.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm excited about it.
Well, really today we wanted to address some of the needs and some of the questions that a lot of parents have when it comes to those all-important purchases of the leg pads, the equipment for their son and daughter, and really we're looking for some insight on some ways that we should, parents can approach the sizing of their equipment to make sure that their son or daughter is fit well and that they're protected well so that they can play their game.
Perfect. I'm glad you brought up sizing first. In my mind, sizing is the most important feature when it comes to buying a goal pad. It's probably the most important piece of equipment that you're going to have on your body, and it's the one that needs to protect you the most and the ones that we need to be the safest for you. So sizing is critical with that. And you might go to a goalie store and you'll see people getting tape measures out and measuring you from your ankle to your knee and from your knee to your thigh and so on and so forth. I like to simplify it a little bit more than that. There's three critical features when it comes to fitting a goalie pad, and one of them is the most critical of all, and that is where your knee falls into the knee cradle. So I'm going to try to show you here what we call the knee cradle. The knee cradle is this section of the pad where your knee sits in. With today's goaltender, lots of half V's, lots of full V's, you're up and down all the time. How you land, where your knee strikes in the knee cradle is the most important feature and the most important thing when it comes to sizing. When you go to get sized in your pads, make sure you bring your skates, make sure you bring your pants. You want to fit everything alongside with the piece of equipment that goes with it. So if you're buying a catch glove and a blocker, it would be important that you try your arm and body on when you're putting the catch glove and blocker on to see how those pieces fit together. So once you have your skates and your pants on, the best thing to do is to start, with a pad that the person at the store might recommend as size-wise. We don't know if that'll be the exact size to begin with, but that's where we should start. Once we get the pad on and we get it strapped in, what we want to do is we want to get the goalie to get flat on his legs, just like this. So he'd be sitting in the pad like this. And what we're looking for, once we get him into the pad, is how high his knee goes into this cradle in this direction. At a minimum, we want the top of his knee to come about 1.5 inches down from the top of the knee cradle. And that's important because then when he rotates to the side, once you get into your half V or your full V this way, the top of the knee will fit right through here. When you strike down, the most important thing is that your knee cannot roll off the knee cradle. So the bottom of the knee cradle is where you want to look to. So at all speeds, up and down, second moves, so on and so forth, when your knee strikes, does it come high enough into the pad where you're going to be stable and where you have no chance of your knee falling off that cradle? So this is the landing block. The landing block is the critical piece. So once you get down into that half V, you can have your mom or your dad or the goalie person at the store look with you and see where your knee strikes into the cradle. If it strikes down here, it means it's rolling off the cradle and it will have no chance to support you when you go down, and it's very hard on your knee joints and your hip joints. So we need to get that knee to get higher up into the cradle where you won't have that issue. Then when you're down in your V, all you have to worry about is locating the puck, getting square to the puck. You don't have to worry about your balance, how the pad's tipping and rotating. All right? So that's the most important critical feature right there.